guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today, what I'm gonna do, I've already started taking down decorations. I'm gonna share all of that with you, all of the undecorating process for Christmas, as well as a very, very deep clean, which is so needed right now because there's pine needles everywhere and glitter all over the place. So if you guys wanna clean with me, get this house back to normal and organized, then just keep watching. All right, let's jump right into this. So the house post Christmas and New Year's was a mess from entertaining, dining, unwrapping, having a great time. And I feel like the best thing about a new year is a fresh, clean slate. So cleaning the house and undecorating everything was the only way. So I started by taking out all of the empty boxes, all of the storage bins, everything from under the stairs. So if you guys did not see my storage video, I will link it down below, but basically how I store everything is underneath the staircase, and I was able, spoiler alert, to fit everything underneath that staircase this year. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I started with the basement. I quickly took apart the tree that's in the basement. That was a pretty easy one to do. I got that tree at Michael's. I kept the box for it. And I started by putting that right into the staircase section storage area. So you can kind of see what it looks like. That's what it looks like under there. There's not a ton of space, but if you're strategic, you can make it happen. So I cleaned up all of the empty boxes and bags and wrappings and just things that had been sprawled across the house over, you know, the span of the holidays. I decided to clean off the dining room table. I took off the table runner and I wanted to wipe down that table really well. There was like glitter and pieces of tape and all sort of like leftover ribbons and everything. I took that time to dust everything off. I have like this magic rag thing that I love, so I use that for dusting. And then I started putting away all of the recycling, all of the empty bottles, all of the excess garbage and anything that needed to be thrown out. I got rid of all of the Christmas candies and stuff like that, and I started taking apart all of the kitchen decorations, like the coffee trays and all of that. So here you can see me just kind of putting everything away, getting rid of all those excess candies and putting away all of those jars and bins. So a lot of the time what I do is I will store little things inside of bigger things. It just helps with storage, and that's one of the ways that I'm able to fit all of the amount of decorations that we have into one area and in a very compact space with as limited amount of bins as possible. So anything that's a bit smaller, I kind of tuck it away in the corners and nooks and crannies of the bin, and I actually use anything like that table runner or like that gnome that's a bit more padded to protect anything that's more fragile. I also will take apart anything that I can. So perfect example, my coffee tray that I shared with you guys, which is kind of more like a dessert tray, it all comes apart. So I stack that up and I place it at the bottom of the bin on a flat surface, and then I put everything around it. Same thing with the Ray Dunn pie tray. I flipped it upside down so that I can put things around it and stack everything. One thing that I also do is I keep all my candles that aren't finished, I keep the lid on them so that they maintain their smell and their goodness. And I also use paper towels to store around things that are a little bit more fragile, just as padding. Often with any fairy lights and stuff like that, I will try and keep them all together. That candy fairy light that goes in that jar, there was no helping it, so it's just gonna go exactly back together. Then anything that I took down, I dusted off the area and I cleaned up and just kind of re-spruced up for the new year. So once I was done with the kitchen for now, I went through and I just undecorated area by area. So the bar cart, I just took everything down. I put all my elves together, and I'm loving the bins that I use. So these are the blue bins that I used to have. The other bins, you'll see more of them. They're like these gray stackable bins. One tip that I have, if you got some elves this season, I always fold them into almost like, I call it like a bungee jump position, and it folds them up like their legs go over their face and they hug their legs, and it protects their little ceramic face. Then I took apart my village, which I don't think I'm gonna have my Limax pieces next year because another one broke. So we're gonna move on to some Disney pieces, I think, instead next year. Then I took apart the banister as well as the fireplace mantle, and any of those garlands, I kept them all in the same bin together, as well as the ribbons that go with it. So here you can kind of just see me like snipping through all of those green wires and taking everything apart. And by this point, I had made a pretty big dent, even though it still doesn't look like it. But I was able to do this all in about a day and a half. So I took out all the picks from the main tree, and I used my bags, like my wrapping bags, to store any excess ribbon or decorations this year. And it actually worked a lot easier. So any ornaments and balls, I put them all in the bins and in the wrapping bags. And my amazing hubby helped me quite a bit with taking down anything that was heavy or just an extra set of arms to bring stuff down. So taking apart my elf tree honestly was the easiest tree I had to take apart other than the white one in my office. It was all picks. I think that having ornaments in a tree is just more complicated. So this tree, I have to say, is a win. I have a full video that I did about this tree and I'm pretty impressed. Even the takedown process and how easy it was to store was pretty awesome. So then I took apart my white tree in my office. All the ornaments for that went into an iMac box. I have two big iMac, I think that's what you call them, an iMac box. And because they're so long and narrow, it fits all of the sticks from my trees. So I use one for the white tree and then one for the big tree. And then this white tree, I kept all of the fluff in the tree, and that one had its own box as well, which was also from Michael. So you can kind of see how I have the two iMac boxes and then the two Christmas tree boxes. And then that other box was from my Disney tree, the ceramic one. So then I started wiping everything down, and I really was starting to make a dent in how much was going in here, and I was very, very proud of my storage capabilities. There is not one square inch that was not taken up under the stairs. And everything was very, very well put away and secure, so it was time to start cleaning. So I started on the basement floor and I just started vacuuming through all of the glitter, and I know I'm gonna have to do a second round, but this was really just to get rid of the bulk of it. And what I'll do is once I'm done with the basement, do the main floor, then finish off on the main floor and then work my way back downstairs because it wasn't a deep clean yet. So we will do, Andre and I together, a deep clean with us video for you guys. And then this was the new coffee tray for the new year. I love it. It was like all black and white with a little touch of Mickey gold, and I just rearranged that little other coffee tray next to our coffee maker. I wiped down the kitchen counter with some Method counter spray, which I love, and then I made my way up to the main floor and vacuumed all of that area. I vacuumed my office, the main floor, and I vacuumed the stairs after with the Dyson. So this is a central vac that we have. I would love to know, actually, I was thinking about this when I was vacuuming. Do you guys like central vac? Have you ever used a central vac? Do you hate central vac? I know that there is like a very strong opinion that people have. I personally like it. Like, I didn't know that I would like it, and I just have to say it works really well. It's very convenient. The only thing that's a bit annoying is that you have to plug it in on each floor, but if your plugs are well positioned, you're good to go. So I personally love it. So then I just Windexed every table, wiped everything down, got rid of all of the excess glitter, and put out all of our normal decorations back out. So our little succulents, which were from Home Goods, on my tray, put out the normal blankets, remade Carl's bed for him for the millionth time. And I took out that big chunky blanket and I put it by the window for him, and I put in his little Disney blanket, which, yeah, didn't last too long. So I refolded it, put it back in his little bed so that that area was clean for him. So you can see the transformation in the kitchen, so much cleaner, so much more organized, and it just felt really, really good to have that clean slate. And then the candle that I had burning, I just got it. It's a cedar and pine. It's very wintry, clean smell, and I love it. So I got that at Chapters Indigo, which I'll be sharing in a video that's to come. So you can see the tree is down in the stairs, the banister, it's just so clean and pretty. I still want to clean the glass on the railing and little things like that. So that's all gonna be in the deep clean with me. And that other tree is gone, so we just had to put a couple little normal decoration pieces back out. I wanted to quickly vacuum the stairs, which we're gonna have to do again because there's still glitter everywhere. The top floor still needs to be taken down and cleaned. And then the last piece for the main floor was to put our swing chair back up, which we had just stored in our patio, our screened-in porch for just a couple weeks. When that tree was up, we needed a spot to put the swing chair. So we hung that up, and there's also a little pillow that sits in there, and that's like the perfect by the fire reading little nook for wintertime. So I love it, and it's a good little spot for it, and it kind of makes the room feel less empty now that the Christmas tree is gone. So we also put our love sack, which was just upstairs in Andre's office during the holidays, and then we were done. We felt very, very comfortable and very happy with the progress that we had made. Put on some good music, made a margarita, and popped on the fire and put my feet up and just chilled. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you are also subscribed so that you don't miss any videos. And if you want to be notified, hit that bell. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, dudes.